Hi everybody, Christine here for this month's edition of our video series, Life and Spiritual Coaching. I was going to say business coaching. I don't know why I'm going to say that. But anyway, Life and Spiritual Coaching. And this month is all about healing from our wounds. And wounds happen to us from the minute we're born to the minute we die. So let's see if we can't work through discussing those wounds, how to heal those wounds, and how to move past the wounds. Okay, so first and foremost, they say, this is what I've heard, and I tend to believe it, is the first wound that you ever get is coming into this earth, coming, through birth. They say that birth is quite the traumatic experience for a baby, soul-wise, and a lot of people say that as we go through these different things that create wounds in our life, we lose pieces of our soul. And there's such a thing as called soul retrieval that you can do through healing work, meditation, and such to help get all those pieces back. But that's a discussion for another time. So keep that in mind. I'll probably bring that up at some point. Anyhow, so we go through many, many different wounds. We go through trauma and drama and physical wounds, emotional wounds, mental wounds, even spiritual wounds. And, they're not always easy. Some things are really quick, like, oh, it happens, you discuss it, you figure it out, you work it out, done, over with, so on and so forth. But when you start talking more of the physical and mental and emotional long-term trauma, that's a big deal. That's something that gets into the whole level of counseling, therapists, psychologists, so on and so forth. By all means, myself as being a coach, I can help someone with working through what they need to work through by helping them to find that within themselves. Because coaching is not like a therapist. A therapist allows you to speak. They bring up some suggestions. They might talk about what happened in the past, things like that. And I know there's more to it, obviously. And I have the utmost respect for therapists. I really do. Been to them myself. So I understand where they're coming from. But as a coach, what I do is we talk about a situation and I'll ask you, okay, well, how do you think you can work through that? Where do you think this is going to go? What do you think your next step could be? What is your ultimate goal? What is your dream? What do you want to achieve? These are the things we discuss, and I help you to find that path and that journey or whatever it is you're looking for. But today, again, I'm going to help you with that through helping you to see how to heal your own wounds, okay? So some of the stuff we go through can be anything from shock, fear, anger, sadness, traumatic experiences, car accidents, death, oh, you name it. There's a lot. Any little thing can create a trauma in our life. And therefore, once a trauma has hit, now we have a wound. And like everything else, how do we get rid of the wound? How do we heal? And a lot of what I see is people that come to me, I can tell, it's like, you've got to let this go. You've got to work through this. You've got to release it. You've got to move forward. And you get a lot of like, no way, it hurts way too much to keep bringing it back up. I don't want to do it. I won't forgive. I'll never forgive. I'll hate that person for the rest of my life. I hope they go to hell. I've heard it all. But in all reality, this is when you have to realize that all that anger, all that frustration, that pent up like emotional stuff, it just sits in you and it ferments. And that's what I like to call it, ferments, because what happens is when we hold on to things emotional and don't let them go, it turns out into a physical ailment at some point in your life. And it ferments over time, because I'll tell people about the emotional physical connection. And they're like, well, there's nothing going on right now. I'm like, well, no, but it could have been something that happened last week, last month, last year, 10 years, 20 years ago. And I said, that's what you have to realize. I said, these connections, some of them take time to ferment into an illness, okay? Excuse me. So, that's when I explain to people, this is something we have to, you got to look at. We don't have to. You have to. I can help you figure it out, but this is something you have to work on. So, sorry. That's what I do with my clients. So let's do some Reiki, let's do a reading, let's do some ear seeds, let's do whatever we can do, meditation, to see if we can't break up whatever's going on within that emotional, mental, spiritual level. Okay. Physically, that's another story. You can still heal physically, but through different means, of course. You can still do it with all the energy work, but some physical things actually need physical healing, in a sense of doctors and surgery or treatments or whatever it may be. So there's a lot of different things. So what are some of the things that create wounds in our life? You had a marriage that fell apart. That's a wound. You have a child that won't talk to you. That's a wound. A best friend who's no longer a friend. An accident you got into, a car accident. A job that you lost. Same thing, at work, we have our coworkers who we feel like they're friends, but they're more of acquaintances and coworkers than actual friends. And then when something happens and they're just like, I'm not talking to you anymore, and they walk away, we feel like, oh my God, what happened? That's a wound. All these different things are wounds. If somebody told you when you were younger, oh God, look at you, you're so fat. I remember when you were so tiny. Talk about a wound, right? That's that emotional hit, like bang, right over the head. Well, you're not as pretty as the other girls. It'll probably take you longer to meet a nice boy, well, you're not very athletic, like, geez, you look like hell today. What's wrong with you? Yeah, these are the things that we say to each other. And obviously a lot of people, and I say a lot, I don't say all, a lot of people don't even mean to come across that way, but it does come across that way. And, all these things are wounds. I remember my grandmother telling me, hey, go upstairs and look for this for me. I'm like, okay. I was just a kid. And I would go look, and of course, I can't find it. I'm like, I don't know where it is. I don't see it. She goes, oh, you got eyes like a hawk. You can't see anything, can you? And I'm like, huh? And she always made me feel bad. I was like, what the hell? Is what it is. Generational differences, So basically, there's a lot of different things that can create wounds in our life. So now the big thing is, well, what do we do to fix it? That's the tough part. It's like, what do we do to fix it? So there's many different ways, of course. And know that a lot of times these wounds can create. And this is also the part about how do we fix it. It depends on what you're feeling, okay? Because like I said, as much as I am a coach and I can help you, there's some things that need more. Maybe it needs a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor or a therapist or whatever it is, depending on what you are going through. So some of the side effects that we get from our wounds is short-term fear, long-term fear, anxiety, shock, because some situations are just basically, I call them shock and awe. It's like, oh my gosh. So and a lot of people that hold on to a lot of stuff that haven't let go, haven't healed, haven't moved forward, show a lot of anger and aggression. So I always tell clients, like, they'll come in maybe for a reading or something, and it'll come up in the cards like, wow, what's up with your person? Because damn, there's a lot of crankiness going on there. And they're like, yeah, they're just really angry. They won't let things go. They're really stuck in, where they are. Maybe it's more than just what's happening right now. Maybe this is a buildup of God knows what. Or maybe they've always been like that and it just, something triggered it. And now you're seeing the ugly side of it. I don't know. That's what I mean. Everything is different. So we're going to talk about how to work on these things. People that go through a lot of wounds in their life, emotional, mental, all of it. Basically, again, some more of the side effects can be emotional disturbances, high anxiety, stress, super sadness, super guilt, wicked depression. Oh my God, the inability to feel any sort of pleasure whatsoever. Basically meaning like even hanging out with friends and going for dinner or lunch or something is like they don't even find pleasure in that. Like, I don't understand what this is all about. Like, it's heavy for some people. It really, really is. PTSD, that is one of the biggest signs of something that people go through that creates a major wound in their life, and it could come from anywhere, and some people that hold on to their wounds so tight, they start having intrusive thoughts. They struggle with nightmares, a lot of triggers, so pay attention to those things. If you find yourself in a space where, I don't know, I'm feeling really angry lately, I don't know why, I just feel really down, I don't feel like doing anything, obviously your body's trying to tell you something. There's something you're holding on to that you're not letting go. Okay. So one thing you want to do when you want to work on releasing your wounds, healing your wounds, okay? And again, it could be anything from something that happened today to something that happened when you were like 3 days old. I don't know, okay? Anything, anywhere in between. Anything could happen. First of all, to work on your stuff, find a space where you can be by yourself, okay? And I don't mean isolate yourself, because that's a bad thing. We don't want to isolate ourselves. Find a place that you can create that is yours and yours alone, okay? This is what you call the sacred space, a meditation space, a journaling space. And this is a space where you can go to work on your stuff, okay? If you live alone, great. But a lot of people don't live alone. So have a space that you can go to, or a space that you can create and tell people like, look, I'm going into my space, so please don't come in, because maybe it's a shared bedroom with a spouse or something like that. So, create that space. It's a nice, safe space where you can go and you can meditate, you can journal, you can listen to your music, whatever it may be, your meditation music, and just be you, okay? And then start setting some goals. Like, what do I want to do? What do I want to fix? What do I want to work on? What do I want to heal? And of course, we all go, all of it. I want to heal all of it. You're not going to do all of it in one day. You're not going to do it all at once. It'd be like trying to cook a whole dinner in an instant versus step-by-step process with each ingredient. You know what I mean? No, one thing at a time, okay? One thing at a time. So set some realistic goals. So if you know one thing that's really bothering you, take that one thing and say, okay, my goal is for this month to work on that so I can release it and I can let it go. So how do you do that? We'll talk about that. Hold on. So set some goals, okay? Realistic goals. Don't do like, New Year's resolutions. Oh, I'm going to eat right. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to ride a bike. I'm going to go for walks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then 2 weeks into the year, you're done, because it's too many things at once. Start with one thing and then work your way up. Okay. The triggers. We just talked about the triggers. So what triggers you? Okay. So think about it this way. Let's say there's been an issue with someone. You don't talk anymore, but every time that someone's name shows up or something involving that someone pops up in conversation, social media, out and about in the world, wherever you're at, and it just goes, right? It just gets you. It like crawls under your skin like, right? That shows that's a trigger, okay? Because you haven't let it go, it's a trigger. Even the sound of hearing that person's name or whatever it may be creates a trigger in you, and that's not good. You should be able to look at someone that you've had an issue with, whether it's an ex-husband, an ex-friend, an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be, ex-coworker, and hear their name or see them out in public and just go, whatever, it's them. And just keep going, I mean, I know so many people that just can't let it go. And they're like, yeah, but it's not right. It's not right. It's not right. I'm like, no, you know what? It's not right. But that's not for you to deal with anymore. Cut the cord. Let it go. Why are you going to allow that to live up here? They're probably walking around not thinking of you. So get away from your triggers. If there's something that you know is going to trigger you, just like if, say, one of your wounds comes from, say, maybe being assaulted somewhere, okay? And every time you go to that somewhere place, wherever it is, you kind of freak out and you freeze. And why go there? If it's not a good place and it's a trigger, get the hell away from it. Go somewhere else. There's a million places in the world you can go. Why do you have to keep going back to the same place that triggers you? Don't do it. Okay? So when you start noticing these triggers emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever it may be, get away from the triggers. Okay? As you learn to heal and you start letting go, you'll notice that those triggers will subside and you'll be in a much better space. To heal, you need to be good to you. And what I mean by that is you have to have self-compassion. Okay? You have to know that you have self-worth. You have to have self-love. And therefore, give yourself some self-care. You are not what you went through. You only experienced something that you went through. That's all it is. That experience is not you. It's just something you did or you went through or you saw or whatever it was, okay? It doesn't define who you are as a person. So have some self-compassion as you're healing and have some patience. Patience is key. And I know we all hate that word patience because nobody has patience. You have to learn to have patience. As many years as you have dealt with X, Y, and Z, it's going to take time. It won't take years. I'm not going to say it's going to take as many years to heal, but it's going to take time. It's definitely going to take time. But the more you work on you and the more you give yourself self-love, self-compassion, whatever you need, you'll heal faster. Okay? Learn to build up a resilience. Okay? So if something happens and it knocks you down, if it happens again, let it bounce you off the pavement back up into a standing position. So bounce back. Don't lay flat and go, forget it. No. Learn to build a resilience that no matter what comes at you, you don't get knocked down anymore. You may go down, but you get right back up. That's the difference. And some people will look at that and go, well, I still can't just keep standing. That's okay. That's okay. The whole point is if you went down, get back up. That's the difference. If you have the strength and the ability to stand back up after you've fallen, you're doing the right thing. So keep going, keep building up that resilience, and keep moving forward. Okay. So now, of course, a lot of these wounds will create a lot of, it's a lot of emotional energy that happens, and we have to learn how to cope with it. Okay. So think of it this way. If you're talking like something physical, okay, and you have to heal from a physical ailment, a surgery, or whatever it may be. So you have ways of coping with the pain as you go through the healing process physically. Now, emotionally and mentally, same thing. No pills, okay, unless you're under the care of a doctor. But what I mean is you have coping skills that you can use to get through your emotional and mental upsets. So what are those? We're going to get to that. We're going to do a whole list of things that you can do at the end. So that's what I want you to do. Now, the biggest part of healing is learning to manifest your healing. Okay? Because one thing about healing is people can go into it very negatively, which is understandable. You've been through a lot. But then they don't let go of the negativity. So then what happens is they're like, okay, I'm going to manifest that I'm in a better place. Not like it's going to happen, but I'm going to put it out there. That's just such negative. It's like a double negative. That you're not going to get anything that way. As I've explained in many times in my talks of manifesting or law of attraction or, whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever you put out is what you're going to get back. So even if you feel like you're in a bad space, positive affirmations, I trust and believe I am healing one day at a time, and I am going to be so good a month from now. And then stick to that. Don't turn it back around. Don't manifest your healing. See yourself becoming healed. Close your eyes, envision yourself in your mind, seeing yourself standing tall, standing bright, healthy, happy, laughing, whatever it may be. Seeing yourself healthy and happy. That's what you want to do. So manifest that by meditating on it, and envisioning it in your mind. That will help you 110%. Manifesting is huge. Just do your best. Do not go to the negative side of things. If you catch yourself with the negative, say, nope, cancel that, cancel. I trust and believe everything is happening. I am healing. It's happening quickly. It's easy, and it's happening in a month. This month, I am healing. I am healing. I am healing. I am healing. Okay? Not I will heal, because that's a futuristic event. Will heal at some point. Who knows? I am healing. Okay? So work on your manifesting your healing. You have to work on also changing your belief systems. Okay? Because belief systems are huge. Again, it goes with the manifesting. If you don't believe you're going to heal, then guess what? You're not. You're not. You know, thinking and visualizing mentally what you want is a big deal. It's like telling somebody to quit smoking. And I used to do hypnosis years ago, and people would say, I want an appointment to come in and quit smoking. Okay, do you want to quit? Well, my wife thinks it's a good idea. Well, good for her. Do you think it's a good idea? Well, I figured I would do it, because she really wants me to. I'm like, then you don't want to do it. You're not ready. So it's not going to work. And they would insist to come in anyway, and we'd do it, and then I would check in with them. It didn't work. But anybody who came in and says, I am done, I am ready, I want to let go of this, I'm finished, right? We do it, boom, they'd be fine. You have to want something. So again, unlock your belief systems that are stuck. Believe you can do it. You are doing it. And it is happening, If again, we go back to the, you're not good enough, you're too fat, you're too ugly, you're not whatever, okay? There's a lot of that. You're not smart enough. Then, I'll never amount to anything. That's old stuff, right? That all comes back. Change those beliefs. I am worthy. I am special. I am beautiful. I am love. I am loved. So on and so forth. Okay? So change those limiting beliefs. Shift your focus. Always keep shifting your focus. You got to see where you're going. You know what I mean? Shift the focus. If you see it going the wrong way, bring it back. Okay? Again, the negative emotions, same thing. If you're thinking them, saying them, what you think, what you say becomes real. So catch a negative, cancel, 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 change it around to a positive. Create a vision for yourself. This is something else, working towards releasing your wounds, okay? Create a vision for yourself. Now, that could be just envisioning what you want your life to look like, or write it down, or make a vision board, right? I do vision boards every year at Sisters of Solace. And I have a room full of people, and everybody's chopping up magazines and gluing and pasting and drawing and whatever they want to do to create their vision. And I always tell people, your vision board, we always do it at the beginning of the year, and create your vision board for this year. What do you want to happen in 2024? And of course, you can do a vision board anytime, but I always do one at the beginning of the year for my year. But if you're ready, I'm sick and tired of feeling like I do. I want to heal. I want this. I want that. No more of this BS wounds thing, right? Create a vision board. I want to be happy. Find a picture of yourself when you were actually smiling. Paste that on your board. Happiness, companionship, marriage, children, pets, vacations, a beautiful home. And of course, a home doesn't have to be a house. A home is where you live. Whether it's an apartment, a condo, a house, it doesn't matter. You make it a home. All these things, stick them on your board. Really do that. Draw some stuff on there, write some affirmations, whatever you want to do. But create a vision, what you want to see your life like. And hold that tight. And know, again, I'm so strongly advising, I know I am living my best life. Always in the present moment. Again, make sure you practice what you preach, okay? Because it's so easy to say, I'm going to do this, and 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 then we don't physically do a damn thing, okay? Practice what you're preaching. You're going to walk the walk, talk the talk, do it, Okay? Do the whole thing. So here's some tools. Now we're going to get to the tools. So how do I do this and how do I do that? So the first thing, and I've said this a million times to you guys, to get closure on any of your wounds, whether it has to do with a specific person or a situation or work-related thing, whatever it may be. Maybe somebody passed away that you didn't get closure with. Maybe you didn't get to say goodbye, whatever it is. Write them a letter. And I want you to express all your emotions in that letter. Good, bad, or otherwise. Yell, scream, holler, swear, scribble. I don't care. Get it all out on paper and then take that thing out and burn it. And if it's your wounds, take that bitch out and burn it. Okay? Bye, bitch. You know, excuse my mouth, but you know what? That's what it is. Get it out. Done. Bye. And if you notice those things are coming up again, because some things are deep. You know, some trauma is this big, some trauma is this big. So yeah, if you notice like, oh, I'm thinking about this again and it's bothering me. Why am I thinking about this? Write another letter. Keep working on that closure. Okay? Write the letter, burn it. Write the letter, burn it. Write the letter, burn it. And please burn safely. Okay? I can't stress that enough. I don't want anybody to start a fire in another place other than your piece of paper. Okay? Remember that all the things that you went through are not your fault. And even if you did do something wrong, I'm sure you rectified it. And if you didn't, now's the time. Okay? But remember, a lot of what did happen to you, whether it was abuse, whether it was a falling out with somebody, not most of that, I'm going to go 99% of that probably wasn't even your fault, but you're holding all the blame and all the guilt. Why? Because one, you're probably like me, a people pleaser. Okay. I want to please everybody. I want to fix everybody, you know, and I know now that I cannot do that. So I have stopped doing that for quite some time now, and I'm just not doing it. So same things. Realize that there is nothing wrong with you. It is not your fault. Do not hold on to guilt. Some situations are out of your control, especially if, let's say, somebody passed away and you weren't there when they died. Why wasn't I there? I should have been there. Look at it this way. Maybe they didn't want you there. I have heard so many stories of somebody about to pass away and that family member's holding on for dear life, waiting. And they're like, I really need the restroom. I'm going to run to the restroom really quick. And they leave, run to the restroom. They come back, their family member's gone. That's it. They were waiting for you to leave. They did not want you to see them die. Okay? That's something you have to make peace with. So no matter what's going on, just realize it's not your fault. Life is life. Things happen. We go through things. Yes, we get hurt. But you know what? We need to release it. We need to let it go. And we need to heal. Okay? And realize that it's just a life lesson. It's just an experience. It doesn't make us good, bad, or otherwise. Okay? Reclaim control of your life. Sorry, my cat's over here. Reclaim control of your life. And what I mean by that is, you ever remember a time where you were just with it all the time? You know, you were strong, you were confident, you were doing your thing. And then, I don't know, let's say, I'm just making examples. You met someone. And then next thing you know, it's like they've pulled your attention away from everybody else. Now they're controlling you a little bit more. But then when they act upset, then you're like, oh, I didn't want you upset. So now you're giving them what they want, so they're not upset with you. And you're starting to lose your control. But they do it in a way, though, you don't really recognize it until you can't recognize who you are. And you have completely lost yourself. People say to me, but how do I get back to who I was? I'm like, you remember who you were. It's all here. It's all here. Put your damn foot down. Make change. And that's the biggest thing. I see so many people who come in for healing or reading or whatever it might be. And they're like, oh, but my life, Mom, my life. Put your damn foot down. It's your life. And that's what everybody forgets. We've been so brainwashed. Oh, you got to help others. You got to do nice. You got to help people. You got to, no, you're always last. You got to help this one. You got to help that one. Never say no. That's mean. And give you the big guilt trip. And it's like, This is where you have to turn around and go, no, I'm putting my foot down. I need to gain control back of my life. And it doesn't mean it's an egotistical thing, but in a relationship, let's say, each person should be allowed to live their own life as well as live a life together. Just because you're with somebody doesn't mean they should be controlling you and you start curling into this ball where they've completely taken over. So how do you take control back of your life? Again, put your foot down. I want happiness. I want joy. I want love. I want compassion. I want support. Are you getting that from that other person? Now, I don't care if it's a relationship, a friendship, a family member, a coworker. They treat you like crap. Get rid of them. Okay? And I know family is like, oh, family's family. Again, see, that's where we've been brainwashed. Family is family. But you know what? I can go, I love you, but I don't like you. You do not treat me nicely, but I have compassion for you because you're my mom, you're my dad, my sister, my brother, my whatever. You know what I mean? I love you, but I don't like you. So you know what? I love you from over here. Thank you very much. You have to set boundaries with people. So don't let that happen. You make the choice. Everything you do in life is your choice. So when these things happen, you have allowed it to happen. And I know I used to hate that. I used to say, what do you mean I allowed this? I didn't do this. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. No, he manipulated me. You allowed him to manipulate you. See? As you heal, you start seeing things more clearly. And as I have worked on myself for these past 18 years, I've grown a lot, I have learned a lot, and I continue to learn and I continue to grow. And I do not allow people to manipulate me anymore. As soon as I see something coming up that seems like manipulation, I'm good. Bye. All done. I love you. No, bye. So, reclaim control of your life. You do what you want to do. You do what you need to do for yourself. Remember, you're always number one. You got to take care of you because you cannot take care of anything else or anyone else if you're junk. Okay? Remember that. All right. By all means, if you're in a place where you are completely in not a good place, where even this video, you're like, no, can't do it, won't do it. Some people need an actual counselor. So like I said in the beginning, I am a coach. I'm a life coach, a spiritual coach, and I can help you. But you know what? If it's to the point where nothing seems to be working, maybe you should go talk to somebody. Get a counselor, get a therapist, get a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, whatever you need, okay? I don't know all the differences between them all, but I know they're all people to talk to. And if you need them, go see one, okay? It's very, very important that you do that. And there's no shame, by the way, right? I hear this reminder in my head. There is no shame in seeing a counselor. I've met people in my past, they're like, oh, counselors are for wimps. Excuse me? Oh, you're a weak person if you have to go see a counselor. Oh, you must be crazy if you're going to go see seriously? We're not living back in the 60s and 70s, you know? I remember as a kid when I used to hear voices all the time, and I'd ask my mom, hey, what does it mean when you hear voices? Oh, that means you're crazy. Okay? Obviously, I think she knew what I meant because it turns out my mom was quite psychic herself. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, you know, people, you're not crazy. I always say the strongest people in the world are the ones who actually go out and get the help they need. That is true. The weakest ones are the ones who refused to heal what needs to be healed. So, don't isolate yourself. I did mention this before. Okay, when I said create a sacred space, I mean that, just a sacred space where you can be alone to journal, to meditate, to do whatever you reflect, whatever. But don't isolate yourselves. Some people get so stuck in that mental unbalance that they start isolating themselves. They live in their four walls and they don't do anything. If they work, they might get up, go to work, come home, back in their space. You know, they might sneak out, buy some food, come home, back in their space. And it's like, you don't see them. And it's like, that's not healthy. That is not healthy, because all that does is help you to spiral more, and that's not a good thing. So please do not isolate yourself. I don't care what kind of wounds you're dealing with or trauma you're dealing with. Do not isolate yourself. You have family, you have friends. Reach out to somebody. Reach out to a counselor. I don't care. But do something that's going to help you. Do not isolate yourself. Okay? Make sure you take care of your health. Mentally, emotionally, physically, all of it. Nutrition. Make sure you're eating decently. Exercise. Go for a walk. Whatever it may be. Do things for your mental awareness, your emotional awareness. Find health, okay? Like I said, everything's a choice. You don't have to do it all at once, but pick something and start working with that, okay? If the gym's not your thing, then by all means, just watch what you eat, because obviously we have so much processed garbage today that eating all that does not help this at all. It really doesn't. So take care of your health. Another way you could help yourself to help your wounds, especially when triggers come up, because we talked about that and said, oh, watch your triggers. I'm like, well, how do I stop the triggers? Self-regulate, okay? Self-regulate. So mindful breathing, okay? Sensory things that you can do. So mindful breathing, when a trigger hits, usually people go into panic mode, right? Stop where you are, take a step back, and just close your eyes for a second. Deep breath in through the nose, right? 3 times. Bring yourself down, okay? Sensory stuff. Sensory stuff is something that you can touch, okay? Like we have people that come in and buy small palm stones. They're about yay big, right? They're flat, but they sit there and they rub them. And then it just helps them to calm down, because now whatever nervousness, energy is coming out in the rubbing of the stone, okay? So a worry stone or palm stone, whichever one works, okay? Listen to calm music, spa music, meditation music, yoga music, anything like that. Or if you have something that calms you, like light rock or maybe some jazz, light jazz, some musical, classical, whatever it is, find some music that will bring you down, okay? Calm down, all right? Stay grounded. Stay grounded. So staying grounded, people are like, well, what does that mean, stay grounded? It means like literally putting your feet on the floor and saying, I'm grounded. Or envisioning roots of a tree coming out of your feet and hooking into the ground, into the dirt, grounding you, okay? Because it means it's putting you in the present moment. Because what happens is when we're not in the present moment and we're in the past, we're in the future, we're in the past, we're in the future, but we're not here. We're very floaty. We're kind of like all over the place. We don't have a clear mind. You're not grounded. So be grounded, okay? And by all means, again, during the healing process, you're going to go through a lot of emotional ups and downs, okay? And as I always tell everybody, God gave you emotions for a reason. Use them, okay? Use them. So yes, be sad. Yes, be angry. Yes, be frustrated, okay? But yes, cry. Cry, okay? Crying is a form of release, okay? Deep sighs is a form of release, okay? When you're trying to meditate and you suddenly start yawning like crazy, like it's not because you're bored, it's a sign of release. Those are the things that happen when I do Reiki sessions. People are like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I just can't stop yawning. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Like, and their stomach's making all kinds of noise. It's because you're healing. When you're working on you and doing energy work, you're healing, so all that stuff can happen, okay? Feel your emotions. You're allowed to feel your emotions. The difference is the negative emotions, the anger, the sadness, the frustration. Feel them. Work through them. Heal them. Let them go. Okay? The only emotions you want to hold on to is happiness and joy and peace and comfort and tranquility. Those things you always want to hold on to. The other stuff, process it and let it go. Okay? And also, notice certain things that happen, there's nothing we can do about certain things. And yet we still try to control the situation. We still try to change the situation, and you really can't. And sometimes you just have to accept that it is what it is. And I know everybody hates that. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But sometimes it is. And sometimes we just got to cut the cords, let it go, and just move on. Because some things we cannot change. We cannot control. We can only control and change what we do. The rest is up to someone else. Okay? Another way you can work on your wounds, get outside. Okay? Fresh air. Get outside. Connect with nature. Sometimes just sitting in nature is all you need in that moment. Okay? Go for a walk in nature. There's tons of nature trails. Like here in Westport, there's nature trails everywhere. Go walk down the nature trails. Allow your mind to clear itself, to process its thoughts, whatever it may be. Sit outside, close your eyes, and just listen. Oh my God, the things you can hear when you just sit quietly and listen. That is so peaceful. It is so tranquil. Hello. Maybe get one of these, okay? My love, this is Mama. Mama is called Mama because Mama had so many kittens at one point. Right, darling? Yes. So, connect with nature. Do what you got to do. Get outside. Enjoy the fresh air. Fresh air is amazing. Like I said, deep breathing, do it outside. Fresh air, beautiful air, And if you live in the city and you don't find there's really fresh air, you know what? Make a day of it, an afternoon of it. Go somewhere where you're going to be in nature. Like if you live in the cities, sorry, she's going to jump on my computer. If you live in the cities, come to like a place like here, Westport. We have beaches, we have, oh my God, beautiful stone walls and farms and trails and, so all these beautiful places you can go to, so do that. Connect with nature. Please do me a favor. If you're in a bad space, get the hell off of TV, get off social media. It's not good for you. News. Oh my God. I haven't watched the news in probably, I'm going to go with 10, 12 years now. I don't watch the news. Granted, there's some stuff on Facebook. It shows up and I go, oh, look what happened. Whoop, and I keep scrolling. You know what I mean? I don't sit there for a half an hour and watch the news, or an hour or an hour and a half, or, how some people just continuously watch news all day long. I don't do that. I know there's things going on in the world, and I keep myself educated enough to know what's going on without having to deal with all the drama of everyday garbage. Social media, same thing. If you are connected to any kind of news source or gossip source, or get rid of it. Get rid of it. If you want to be on social media, then only follow pages that are positive, they're uplifting, they're funny, whatever it may be. As long as it keeps your energy up, it's fine. But and if you have people on your Facebook that are creating drama with you all the time, bye. Bye. It's your Facebook page. You can have whatever you want on it. You can have whoever you want on it. Don't let them do that to you. So yeah, do your best to limit your exposure on social media, on the news, even watching movies and things. Try to watch something that's very, hello love, very positive. I know everybody's like the Hallmark Channel, okay? I'm not a big fan of the Hallmark Channel. I do like to watch something a little more uplifting. I mean, those are emotionally uplifting, I guess. But, it's just not my thing. But there's a lot of good, positive things I do like to watch. And find what works for you. Find what works for you. And then I would say, the last thing is, again, I want to go back to like this little lady right here. Sometimes in order to get you in a good space, maybe what you need is a pet. Pets are great. They're unconditional love. They're non-judgmental. Feed me, love me, and I'll be happy. And that's all they want from you. And they will take care of you as well. Like this little lady, every night, if I'm not sitting on the couch by a certain time, she comes looking for me. And then she rubs against my legs like, come on, what are you doing? It's time to go chill. It's our quiet time. And it's like, okay. But they give you so much love. So if you're able to, then by all means, get a pet. They're wonderful. And when you're feeling sad, oh my God, they're going to come sit on you or sit by you and just give you those eyes, and oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. So we've talked about some great ways of healing our wounds, what types of wounds we get, how to work through these wounds, and different exercises that you can do. But try doing the best you can, because, and I know some people say too, well, there is no try. You either do it or you don't. So I'm going to go with just do it. Even if it's one thing at a time, do it. Stick it into your schedule, okay? It's no different than a physical healing. If a doctor said, oh, you need to take this pill once every 4 hours, you make sure you're taking that pill once every 4 hours. Oh, you need to go to PT 3 times a week. You go to PT 3 times a week. I'm telling you, you need to sit for 15 minutes, journal a little bit, put a little bit of meditation music on, envision something beautiful. That's all I'm asking for. Do it, okay? So do whatever you can, do whatever you want to start with, and just start there. The first thing that pops into your mind is like, what do I want to heal first? Whatever pops in first, that's what you start with. Write the letters. Get a worry stone. Do some breathing. Get outside. Go for a walk. Breathe. All those things. You're going to be fine. You are going to be fine. And I'm going to tell you right now, I applaud you. I am proud of you. You are worthy. You are love. You are compassion. You are divine. So just move forward. Help yourself out. You know where I am. If you need me, if you want to message me, sistersofsolace@yahoo.com. You can message the Facebook page. You can leave comments on the YouTube page. Whatever you want. So I hope tonight's talk has helped. I want you to help yourself to heal your wounds. I gave you some tools to use. Use the tools. And again, if it ever gets way too much for you, then by all means, go talk to someone. Go talk to someone. Okay? All right, so that's it for today, for this month. Next month is going to be about releasing your fears and living your dreams. So look forward to that one. That one's going to be good. All right, everybody. Thank you again so much. Thank you for joining me on my life and spiritual coaching video. I will see you in May. Take care.